Hey guys, this is Mega Man NG. We are back with another Pokemon Gen 6 Wi-Fi battle. Today's battle, believe it or not, is one against one opponent that just really put me for a loop. He goes by the name of Jaguar, though I don't really know what his YouTube name or something like that. If anyone can tell me, please let me know in the comment section. It means a lot. Thanks. Anyway, let's get this show started. He starts off with a shiny Rotom named GameCube. I start off with my trusted Arcanine, which proved out to be, in my mind, a bad idea. So I make a switch, which, in my thoughts at the moment, I'm thinking, I need something to strike back against it. So I send out my Electivire, hoping that I could. He goes for a Hydro Pump, and the Hydro Pump does, about a pretty good amount of damage. And I went for the Thunder Punch since I always thought that since it's part water, I can do, some normal damage. However, that doesn't make a difference. He goes, another shot, and Electivire goes down. I'm thinking, crap, this battle's already starting off rough. I don't mind any other way, because I'm now sending in my Greninja. In his mind, he's just thinking Volt Switch. However, he's not aware that I have a Protean Greninja. With Grass Knot and high special attack, plus an Expert Belt, the damage was a bit good, but it wasn't enough to kill it because of its weight. He has a Volt Switch activated, and that allows him to get a free switch plus some damage. The damage wasn't that effective, so he now sends out Ludicolo, a shiny Ludicolo that's dancing about. Why do I have a feeling it reminds me of Myra B? I make a switch into my trusted Pokemon that has never let me down, Chansey, and now it's bringing in the Rain Dance. It's now pouring rain in this Coliseum. Though I have to wonder myself, if this is a Rain Dance team, then the Rain Dance could at least benefit both Rotom and Ludicolo, which he's now made the switch to, I believe, Rotom, the shiny Rotom Water, which a lot of people still consider to be very annoying. He goes for a Will-O-Wisp, that doesn't work. I go for a Toxic, and that worked. Though I feel for a fact that when I tried Toxic last turn, it didn't work either. Though now with the Badly Poison kicking in, I can now at least dish out some damage while Poison, stalls it out and kill it. However, that gets thrown out the window because of a rest. Yeah, I didn't think this Rotom would actually have rest. But you want to know what really surprised me? Is that he had a Chesto Berry. That rest Chesto Berry combo is actually a pretty good combo that has been around since Gen 2. So I use a Seismic Toss to dish damage. However, this time he actually gets the Will-O-Wisp. Though I wonder if he actually knows that my Chansey has Natural Cure. Though if it didn't, then I really would have been screwed and I would have had something like Aromatherapy. So now I have to make a switch so that way Natural Cure can kick in and save me. And then I send in my Ferrothorn so that way I can set up. He goes for Hydro Pump and that misses. Though if it would have hit, it would have been bad. Now he has the Will-O-Wisp and that's going to cripple my attack. It's going to cripple my attack and it's not going to be pretty, believe me. It doesn't matter though because I'm only going to be using that Ferrothorn for entry hazards like the rocks, which I successfully do that. So now the clock is ticking, and now he sets up a Volt Switch, which surprisingly is not that effective. Doesn't matter though, because I still get a free turn setting up more entry hazards. The more hazards I have, the more of an advantage I will hopefully have. So he now sends in the Pope, the Nidoking, and it's a shiny one. It looks like a Nidoqueen to be precise. Ain't that ironic? So now I set up a layer of spikes. If I had Toxic Spikes, that really wouldn't work because Nidoking would just absorb the Toxic Spikes and made them meaningless. However, my burn has me putting on on a timed constraint. So I need to switch because I know he's going to use Earth Power. Hopefully I send out Chansey and he went for a Fire Blast instead and that missed. To be fair, he could have just went Flamethrower and that would have worked too. But I'm surprised he doesn't have Flamethrower on that Nidoking. He sends out King Pingu, the Empoleon, though I'm beginning to wonder if that U would have been replaced with AS. Yeah, now that he's suffering damage from Stealth Rock and Spikes, I just go in for a Seismic Toss and do 50 damage. And remember folks, this is my commentary, so I'm speaking not only my thoughts, but what's happening in the battle as we speak. I can't say the same much because now he's bringing out a Defog, and that just blows away my hazards out of the water. Not to mention a drop in evasiveness. Note to self. Have something that can help in case you encounter hazards yourself. Anyway, I go for a Thunder Wave, and the Thunder Wave paralyzes it and slows it down. That, to me, is a relief. It really is a relief, so now I can just strike back hard. Let's just hope I can make it happen. I go now, this time, for a Seismic Toss, and it does 50 damage. So, I'm beginning to think, it may take me about 4 Seismic Tosses to destroy it. which I'm probably right because Empoleons are known to be able to withstand a lot of different types. However, when up against something like this, you're gonna have to take it down fast with something hard, or else that Chansey's gonna be trouble. Oh, and then I forget to mention he gets Parahacks, which means I get free turns. Yeah, I get a lot of free turns, so that's gonna help me out greatly. The good news is that I finally take down Empoleon with 4 Seismic Tosses. The 4th one finally ensures that it goes down. Finally. So, I'm now wondering, what's he going to send out next? Oh yeah, he sends out that GameCube type Rotom. So, he's going to pull off a Will-O-Wisp again, so that way he can burn me to death. Though I'm not really that impressed by it, because I could just use Toxic and poison him again. However, the difference between Burn and a badly poison, that poison slowly builds up. Burn is more or less a set amount, which means I'm going to be suffering about 40 to 50 damage every turn. So basically, I'm on a timer. But however, that means nothing because I'm just going to send out my Burn Ferrothorn because I need to set up entry hazards once again. He goes for a Volt Switch like before. The damage isn't much, though I feel that would have been a bad idea. I could have just let Chansey stay in and absorb the Volt Switch. Though, because the reason why I switch at a pretty bad time is pretty simple. That Nidoking. That Nidoking, if that thing has Fire Blast and Earth Power, I'm pretty much screwed, and I don't want that to happen. I need that Ferrothorn to set up my hazards. However, I make a switch, and this is where I make a pretty bad switch. Because I send in my Gardevoir, thinking that I could use a Psychic Attack, and he goes for a Sludge Wave. And since Gardevoir is part Fairy, it takes down Gardevoir rather easily. Personally, that was a bad move on my part. I'm being dead serious. So, I now send in my Greninja, and he makes a switch because he knows I may go for either an Ice Beam or a Surf Attack. And he sends in this shiny Ludicolo, aka Ludicolo. I go for the Surf, changing into a Water type, though to be fair, I should have went into something else instead. And the Surf just did jack squat. I'm not kidding, it did jack squat. I need to get my Greninja out of there or else he's going to feel the fury of some grass type attack like Giga Drain or something. So I brought in my Ferrothorn yet again. Hopefully this time I can now use it as an entry hazard to set up, and then once it's done I can just go on the offensive like that. So I'm right now running on time constraints since I only have 2 turns with this thing. So I got to make them count. So make that 1 because he actually gets a crit with that Ice Beam, and I'm thinking, oh god, no. Either way, Ferrothorn has served this purpose with the Stealth Rock and goes down. Nice job. Too bad the Defog really screwed me up greatly, so I had a little choice. So I'm now sending in my Chansey, and this is where the battle turns on its head. He gets ready to do it. He does a Giga Drain, and that does 30 HP damage. However, he only gets 15 or so. I'm just basically going to use the Toxic and just stall it out with a few rounds of Seismic Toss. Yeah, this Chansey has a Violite, which means it can withstand special, all kinds of attacks. I apologize if I'm being a bit jumpy with my commentary because I'm trying to get all these Wi-Fi battles done. I have about 10 or so other battles I got to record, edit, render, and upload. You get what I mean. He already has a Rain Dance set up, though I'm wondering if this thing doesn't even have, I think, Moss Rock or something, because if it did, then Rain Dance would have actually lasted a lot longer. Believe me. Anyway, the poison damage starts kicking in. However, he goes for a Hydro Pump, and due to the rain, it does more than 70 damage. Though if I didn't have the Eviolite, it would have done twice as much, around 140, 160. So I just do a Seismic Toss to just build up the poison damage, and knowing this, he's about to go down about 2 or so turns. He goes for another Giga Drain, and the Giga Drain doesn't do much, though he does get healed up. That means absolutely nothing, as one more Seismic Toss plus the poison damage is going to make sure this thing goes down. Now, I would imagine what it'd be like if that thing was still on the field. He would have been really causing a lot of problems. Good thing I don't have to deal with that. Now, next up, he sends in Flappers, the Togekiss, and I'm thinking, what the heck's up with his team? Is his team shinies or something? Because I've been noticing a lot of trainers having shinies. Many of them been getting legitly, others not so much. He pulls off an Aura Sphere and he gets a crit, but I don't really care because I pull a Toxic, and now the fun can begin all over again. Yes, this gets repetitive, but unless you find a way to take down my Chansey like General Sekura did with his Weavile, expect to get punished. I mean that a lot. He goes for an Air Slash and that doesn't do much. I just use Soft World and I get myself back to full health. Well, not really full health, about like 3/4, so... Okay, now the poison's kicking in greatly, and that's now giving me more time to go on the offensive. I make a switch because Chansey has done its job. I just send in my Greninja in the meantime so I can deliver some pain. However, he goes instead for another Air Slash, and I'm wondering to myself, this thing doesn't have Serene Grace, because if it did, my Chansey would have been literally screwed badly. I'm surprised that he doesn't. But he knows that I'm going to pull an Ice Beam, so he makes a switch back into GameCube. Seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if his entire team, believe it or not, is full of shinies, and I question it. I question, how is it possible? Because unless you have, find a way to actually do it, in rare cases, you can't have, a team full of shinies, because my guess, he either has been Poke-Gen, Poke-Edited, or must have been spending hours breeding. I don't know. He withstood that Ice Beam pretty fine, and now he's going to send in Houndoom, which I asked myself, this Houndoom looks really whack as a shiny. I don't like shiny Houndoom. Not to offend, though. I go for the Grass Knot because hopefully I thought he was going to stay around, but he didn't. I think he actually made a pretty good switch on his part. It wasn't that effective, and just in time, too, because now the rain stopped. So now his Houndoominite is going to help him Mega Evolve. Yeah, I don't really like shiny Mega Houndoom. I prefer regular because it actually makes him more vicious. He actually goes for a Sucker Punch, and that takes out Greninja. Nice play, my friend. Very nice play. However, this battle's far from over. I send in now my trusted Arcanine that has never let me down. He actually makes a pretty good switch here, because he knew I had a fighting type move, so I went for the close combat hoping that I could. But here's the weird thing about this. Stealth Rock kicking in, I pull the close combat, and he actually resisted it. He actually resisted it, and I'm not kidding. He resisted it like a beast. That's actually pretty clever. But that doesn't matter either way because he goes down to the Poison Hacks. It's down due to damage from poison. Meh. Now he sends in the Pope, aka Nidoking, and yes, it's a shiny. It looks like a Nidoqueen. And due to the Stealth Rock damage, it's not going to be much. I have to make a switch because I don't want to even get hit by the Earth Power, so I just send in my Chansey instead. And Chansey actually withstands the Earth Power rather well. Remember, folks, I had to train it in HP and Special Defense. I actually got this Chansey off Wonder Trade. He now decides to go for a Sludge Wave, and this thing pretty much is Life Orb, which is why he's suffering a lot of damage. He actually gets off the Seismic Toss, and that does 50 HP. Though if it had Poison Point, then it would have been a problem. Though on the other hand, if he did have Poison Point, he'd be suffering Life Orb recoils every turn. He went for another Sludge Wave, but however, I go for the Soft Boiled, and I'm already fully healed. So I'm ready to withstand whatever he dishes out. He's just going to keep at it with Sludge Wave, and I'm just going to keep at it with Seismic Toss, because believe it or not, I just want to take this thing down, because if my Arcanine stayed when that Earth Power hit, it would have been a very big problem. However, that's not going to make any difference because he's now switching into GameCube, his Nintendo GameCube type Rotom, though I begin wondering if it is. Anyway, I get a Seismic Toss in, and that's it. I think he only did it solely to die because I knew he was going to need his Nidoking somewhere up down the line. Yeah. Though to be fair, I should have just healed last turn, and it would have just gave him a free turn. That really wouldn't make a difference because my Chansey has Natural Cure, like I said. He goes now this time for a Sucker Punch and misses because I just wanted to heal up fast, which I do thanks to Soft Boiled. And fortunately, this battle's near its end because I'm just going to spend the rest of my battles just using Seismic Toss left and right. He does do a Sucker Punch, which does about 60 damage. That doesn't really make any difference. It really doesn't. This battle's already over. It's already done. His Mega Houndoom's done. And to be fair, like I said, I don't like shiny Mega Houndoom. He now sends in his last Pokemon, Nidoking, which gets taken down with Seismic Toss. And I have to say, this battle was actually really good. It was actually really long. Almost about 15 minutes. This guy actually was smart with his plays. I really do enjoy it. His team actually has a lot of potential. I really do like it, though my big gripe is wondering to myself, how the heck does he have all these shinies? Something isn't right. Either way, I enjoyed this battle a lot. Thank you very much, Jaguar, for the battle. I appreciate it. Your team's really unique, really cool, and I look forward to battling you again in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It does mean a lot to me, and it means a lot to Jaguar and everyone who watches it. And I'll see you guys next time for another Wi-Fi battle. Alright, peace guys.